Alright guys, welcome to another mastering moment of tutorial with Victor. So in today we are going to be generalizing so many things, and we are going to be talking about so many things that concern mastering, and we are going to go deep down into mastering and talks about what mastering is actually all about. So as you can see, we have some projects here that we are going to be mastering together, and I'm going to be going deep down with so many things that concern mastering. So in this process, just as a beginner, you can start from somewhere, and also as a pro, you can also become a pro from this, and it's going to help you. All you have to do is to pay attention, subscribe to this channel for more, and don't forget to comment on this channel because on this video, because I come with a lot of amazing videos where I talked about many things that concern music and Afrobeat as a whole. So before we do something, I want us to take a look at mastering and talks about mastering for the beginners so that they will understand it. And when we talk about mastering, I think for me, I think there are three styles of mastering, and which are the balanced, the warm, and the open mastering. So which of these mastering? First of all, you have to analyze your vocals, analyze your song, and know the kind of mastering that fit into it. Yes, analyze your vocal and know the mastering that fit into it. Okay, the balanced mastering style, let's just explain the three of them. So when you talk about the balanced mastering style, this is the process whereby you are looking for a good balance in between the low and the high end. So in this case, you are trying to make the low end sound fuller, but maybe the high end sounds some kind of critical clear and so on. So for the sake of the beginners, this is a good begin for you. Like, you can go for the balanced mastering style. It's going to help you as a beginner. So let's talk about the warm mastering style. In this kind of mastering, you are trying to keep the low and the mid range very rich. I think that's what we are basically going to be using for this, trying to keep the low and the mid range very rich. You are softening the high ends and you're making it softer and making them warm. So that is talking about the warm mastering aspect. So let's talk about the open mastering style. So when you talk about the open mastering style, this is the process whereby you are targeting the mid-range and the low end. You are trying to maybe boost and add some kind of livelihood to it, add some little life to it. And in this kind of style of music where you're talking about maybe some music that has a fast tempo, about 140 bpm, so you can go for the open mastering style whereby you add some kind of frequency, some kind of sweet parts to it. So that is the explanation concerning the three aspects of this. But for this mastering, we are going to be going for the warm mastering style because I've listened to this music and the way it sounded. I don't think that we need much to do about this. We just need a little things, we need to add little things to it. So that is the reason why we are going to be going for the warm mastering. So let's take a look at it without the mastering plugs. So let me play.
You got me doing something nicely. Victor, I pull up my eyes, you got me doing something nicely. You make me want to say something nicely. I know if you let you go, cause now you dey my side. You make me want to say something nicely. Akumeta me. You give me love, you give me love. I know if you do to let you go. You give me love, you give me love. Akumeta me. You give me love, you give me love. I know fit to let you go. You give me love, you give me love. I know fit to let you go. Cause you go take me see your mama, your papa, your sister, your brother, eh. And if I lie to you, make water, come carry me go. Purchase your tracks today.
So all right, what we are going to be doing right now is that I'm going to be highlighting the highest part. Like, let me just take a look at the wave and see where most of my instrument comes in. Okay, let me see from here.
And if I lie to you, make what? You be my energy, you be my fantasy. Your sister, your brother, your mom. You go take me see, cause you go take me see to let you go. Cause you go take me to let you go.
Okay.
To let you go.
So I think I'm going to be starting the mastering aspect from this aspect. So don't mind this stuff here, was just like a comparison between the wave that I just did here. So they were just going to focus on this. It's still the same wave, I just like try to double then, but I just mute then. So we are going to be going for the warm mastering, and then because so far the way I've listened to this mix, I think what I needed, the way I've listened to it, what I needed here is to like to some kind of taming and some kind of gluing of the vocal with the beat together. I think that is one of the major things that I needed to do here, like remove and then boost some sweet part of it. So that is what we are going to be doing. So we are going for the warm mastering. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button as we dive in. All right, so let's see. We have some plugins that we have used here already, so let's get rid of those stuff. So before I mastered, one of the things I do is that I try to load up my Yulin loudness, and this plugin is free. You can get it. You can just search for it, Yulin loudness meter 2. I use it to measure the loudness of my mastering. So that was what I do first. That was the first thing I add to my mastering, and I mostly use the -9 dB, -9 for my loud mix. That's what I do. So let's see. Now let's start adding our plugin. So the first plugin I add to my mastering is an EQ. So why am I adding an EQ to it? I added this EQ to my mastering because I wanted to create a headroom for my mix. So I can basically use a separate EQ for this, like maybe use an other EQ for this, but I just decided to use one EQ to do the whole work. But basically you can also like use a separate EQ for this for a better understanding. So first I try to cut off some low ends here. Let's take a listen to what I cut off here. So you have to take your headset to understand what we are doing. Put on your headset so that you can understand every procedure I'm taking right here. Now let's see. I'm playing it. So you can see that there is no sound on this. So I wanted to create an headroom, like take away some kind of basic part that is not, you cannot really hear it, but maybe sometimes, maybe when you master your song, you can see that some kind of clipping and some kind of, there's no headroom for other instrument to breathe. So I take this off so that should in case there's other instrument, they can actually clash into this box. Maybe your song is being played on some kind of little speaker, not that kind of expensive speaker. It can also like works on that. So I just took that off, and then I came to this aspect. I decided to boost a little bit of stuff here. So this is what I was boosting, and I decided to add a little bit of high end of low end to it. I boosted a little bit. So I came to this place. I discovered some kind of noise I don't really like. Let's listen. So I took that off. For you to do this, you can actually just turn your vocal up a little bit and just tweak it a little bit around the EQ, the band here, and then swing through to see what you can get rid of. So once you found something, you can actually just duck it down this way and you're good. So that is it. So that's what I did here, removing some kind of frequency, some kind of bad sound I don't really want, because this mastering is all about taking and adding. That's what actually we are trying to do. Now I came to this place, I make this place dynamic, and ways you can make it dynamic is by clicking on it and then right click. You go to make it dynamic. Just for instance, let me just use here as for an example. I'm going to double click and then right click, make dynamic. Once you make it dynamic, you can see you can bring it down a little bit as you want. Now let's play. Now it's going to only be working on taking down those frequency when this frequency happens to comes in. So we don't have to temper with our mid-range, so I'm not going to be doing that. So I'm going to be undoing those stuff. So I came to this place, I discovered that the mix house some kind of high-end issues. So I decided to like remove those high-end because it's too harsh. Because if I start adding other plugin and those things boost on, my mastering is going to be so harsh to the ears. So I have to make that dynamic and take that off. That was what I did here. So let's take a look, listen to how it sounds with the EQ.
I don't feel to let you go, cause you go take me see your mama, your papa, your sister, your brother.
Now I'm going to be taking out the EQ and let's see.
I don't feel to let you go, cause you go take me see your mama.
So you can see the difference. Let me bring the EQ on again.
I don't feel to let you go, cause you go take me see your mama, your papa.
So you can see the little difference, like some kind of sweet, like some kind of cleanliness that comes into the song. Immediately I added those EQ and do those themes. So you can also remove as much as you want, but don't do too much because this is mastering. We don't have to do too much of this. Now let's take a look at other things I have to do here, which comes inside my NLS Boss Stereo. So I love using this plugin for my mastering because it is very, very necessary and essential. So I have to like select a preset here. Should I call this a preset? I think so. This is a preset. So I have to select the spark. You can use other stuff here, but I have to select the spark, and with it sounds this way.
I don't feel to let you go, cause you go take me see your mama.
Now let's get rid of it. Let's listen to before and after.
I don't feel to let you go, cause you go take me see your mama.
With the plugin it sounds this way.
I don't feel to let you go, cause you go take me see your mama.
So definitely you can also like adjust your drive a little bit at this stage. Like let's play and adjust.
I don't feel to let you go, cause you go take me see your mama, your papa, your sister, your brother, eh.
But for the sake of this song, I actually did not touch anything. I just put in the NLS Boss and I just leave it that way. So you can choose between those two here. You can choose this,
I don't feel to let you go,
and you can choose this.
I don't feel to let you go, cause you go take me see your mama, your papa.
And you can also choose this depending the one that fit into your style of song.
I don't feel to let you go, cause you go take me see your mama, your papa, your sister, your brother, eh. And if I lie to you, make water, come carry me go. Tell me what I go do for you. Take you round the world.
So I think I am deliberating between this spark and then this mic. I think I'm deliberating between these two, and I think I prefer this mic for the pattern of this song. I think I like this one, so I'll be going for this one. I'm going to be making a change in this mastering. So that's all we did with our NLS box. So let's talk about other plugin I add to this, which is the SSL compressor. So what I basically used to do with this compressor is that I use this compressor to glue my track together, which is very, very important. That is how I do with this. I use the SSL compressor to glue my mastering together. Now what I did here was to turn on my analog to give in that kind of analog feelings, and then some kind of my threshold set, my makeup, and other attack release. You can also copy this setting and try to like go through it and see what it does. So with the NLS compressor, you can see that I lose a lot of volume here. So let's see, let's listen to it.
I don't feel to let you go, cause you go take me see your mama, your papa.
So without the NLS,
I don't feel to let you go, cause you go take me see your mama.
the NLS,
I don't feel to let you go, cause you go take me see your
So I don't know if you notice what I am noticing, like there's some kind of a gluing of the tracks together. Before, the voice was sounding like it was somehow wanted to be separated from the music, but once I added the compressor to it, it bring every form of the instrument all together and then it matched them together. That is what I did concerning the NLS compressor. So let's talk about other things I added, which was a PTEC EQ. And this PTEC EQ, what I basically do with this PTEC EQ was to boost. Again, I use this to boost. First of all, what I do was to boost my high end, and I put my frequency to about 60 because that is the excess of place I wanted to boost. So let's see.
I don't feel to let you go, cause you go take me see your mama.
So without it sounds this way.
I don't feel to let you go,
With it,
I don't feel to let you go, cause you go take me see your mama, your papa.
so these things I'm doing, I'm trying to add little stuff to it. I'm not adding too much because I just want to have a warm mastering. I just want to make everything to be rich. Don't want to do too much concerning this. So I boosted stuff here to about 0.9. It's not even up to a dB, and you can boost it all the way to any frequency you want. Let's see.
I don't feel to let you go, cause you go take me see your mama, your papa, your sister.
So that's not what we want, so I have to bring it down a little bit.
I don't feel to let you go, cause you go take me see your mama, your papa.
So I don't want to add too much of bass to it because it might be affecting the speakers maybe in the party or a club, so just little of it.
I don't feel to let you go.
So let's see something else. What I did here at the high frequency also, I have to like add some kind of high frequency to it, which I added a little to it, and let's take it all the way up and see what it sounds.
I don't feel to let you go, cause you go take me see your mama, your papa, your
So that's not what we want. We just want a little of that, so we just add a little of this.
I don't feel to let you go, cause you go take me see your mama, your papa, your sister, your brother, eh. And if I lie to you, make water, come carry me go.
So that's all I did with my PTEC EQ. And the next plugin I have to add was a vintage plugin. So this is a vintage plugin. And then what I basically did with the vintage plugin is that the reason why I like to use this vintage plugin is because there's some kind of, should I say a gluing of sound, like there's kind of bringing together, like bringing the vocal, the instrument, everything together and make them sound like they are actually they were actual, because this beat was already mastered before it was recorded with this song, so it gives it that kind of gluing together just like the way the compressor was doing. So let's listen to how it sound.
I don't feel to let you go, cause you go take me see your mama.
So without it, it sounds this way.
I don't feel to let you go.
With it,
I don't feel to let you go, cause you go take me see your mama, your papa, your sister.
without,
I don't feel to let you go, cause you go take me see.
with it.
I don't feel to let you.
So you can see the big difference that he's creating is stemming it very much. So what I basically did with it was only touching this tune here, was like adding a little stuff to it to about 2%, and you can all the way take yours to all the way to any percentage you want depending on the kind of song. So let's listen to how it sounds.
To let you go, cause you go take me see your mama, your papa, your sister, your brother.
So that was not what we want, so we have to take it all the way to where we wanted it to be.
I don't feel to let you go, cause you go take me see your mama, your papa, your sister, your brother, eh. And if I lie to you, make water, come carry me go. Tell me what thing I go do for you. I take you round the world. Oh. You be my energy, you be my fantasy, you give me energy. Akumeta me. You give me love, I'm not fit to let you go.
Okay, I think I'm okay with this extent, and I like the way it sounds with that. I actually did not touch anything about that, and that's how I just have the setting of this, and it sounds that way. Now let's take a look at another plugin I added, which was the vintage from Wave. And what I basically did with the vintage was I just love this plugin because there are some kind of stuff like I actually do with this in case of my mastering that I really do love. First of all, one of the things I have to do was to like bring down everything all the way to 0. I bring down everything here all the way to 0. As you can see, I bring down everything to 0. Then I have to like my basic aspect here, I have to like mute it, solo it, and then play, and let's like try to like work on our bass, because it gives you the feelings that you can actually work individually on your mastering, like the bass aspect, the low aspect, the mid aspect, and also the high end. You can actually solo them and work on them one after the other, just like the Ozone plugin and how you can do with it. So like, let's see now what I did here. First of all, I have to set my, because I think I like the habit of putting my bass into mono. I like to put my bass into mono. So I first of all tune this down to mono, and then solo this, and then play. So you need your headset to be able to listen to this, because your laptop speaker cannot actually pick this. You need your headset or your studio monitor to actually listen to what I am actually doing. So let's see. All right, so I think I prefer putting it into the mono. I think the mono is much better. Putting it into stereo, I don't think it's going to be nice, so I put it into mono. Then I have to like set it to just tune my bass. That's too much, so I added that a little of it to reach just little stuff. So, and then everything starts sounding this way.
I don't feel to let you go, cause you go take me see your mama, your papa, your sister, your brother, eh.
So I came to this place, and then let's play. So at this range, I don't actually wanted to boost anything there. I don't want to actually boost any sound there, so I left it at, just turn it off, and I came to this mid, and then so I boosted the mid to about 1.5%, and just a little of it. Let's see how it sounded all the way up. So that's not what we wanted, so just do a little of it to about 1.5% of it, and then I tune my mid to stereo a little bit. I wanted it to be on the stereo a little bit, so I did a little of it, make it stereo, make this stereo, and that's what I did here. And I came to this place, I didn't actually touch anything, just like I just make this a little bit stereo. I made this a little bit stereo, and I came to this place also. I make this mono. I just wanted to make this mono, so I made this mono a little bit here, just little adding of some frequency of mono to it. That's all I did with my vintage plugin, and this is a very nice plugin that you can actually use it to manipulate your sounds. So let's listen to how it sounds with you.
I don't feel to let you go, cause you go take me see your mama, your papa, your sister, your brother, eh. And if I lie to you, make water, come carry me go. Tell me what thing I go do for you. I take you round the world. You be my energy, you be my fantasy, you give me energy.
Alright, so let's talk about the other plugin I added, which was a Saturn 2 front fat filter. And what I basically did with the Saturn 2 here was that going into this, selecting the transformer plugin and putting it into Gen 2 transformer, and that's what I did here. Then I had to drive it a little bit, like adding some kind of distortion to my mastering a little bit. So let's see how it sounds with it.
I don't feel to let you go, 'cause you go take me see your mama, your papa, your sister, your brother, eh. And if I lie to you, make water, come carry me go. Tell me what I go do for you.
So this is adding some kind of clarity to our mix, so I love to use this. And let's listen to without the plugin.
I don't feel to let you go, 'cause you go take.
With it,
I don't feel to let you go, 'cause you go take me see your mama.
so there's some kind of calmness and warmness he added to it, and that's why I love to use this in some of my mastering process. And it's a very nice plugin also, you can get it. So let's talk about something else, and let's other thing I added to this, which was at this time, I think we are coming to the end of our mastering. But first, let's take a look at our Yulin loudness to see the level of our loudness of our music, and let's see.
I don't feel to let you go, 'cause you go take me see your mama, your papa, your sister, your brother, eh. And if I
Now you can see that our level of our mastering was just above -18, and it's about to go to about -9, and that was what our target is. So I wanted, now I am good with my mastering, and I added the kind of, I already enhanced my mastering the way I wanted it to be. So right now it's about time that we add some kind of loudness to our mix to make it stand out, to make it to be able to compete, to make it to be able to have that kind of loudness that the Afro sound has on an heavy speaker. So let's dive in on what I did here. Now we are going to be using our Yulin loudness to measure our loudness that we are adding. So let's see what we are going to do. Let's see what you're going to do right now. So yes, our L1 limiter stereo, and this is from Wave. I use this to track my loudness. You can also use other plugin, but I decided to use this for this mix. So let's see.
I don't feel to let you go, 'cause you go take me see.
So you can see that all the way it went all the way to -9, so it went all the way to that place. So let me turn off the L1 limiter.
I don't feel to let you go.
Now let me turn it on.
I don't feel to let you go, 'cause you go take me see your mama, your papa, your sister, your brother, eh. And if I
So you can see that what I did there was to touch my threshold to about -5.0. Maybe in your own mix you might actually do more than the way I do, or you might, because I think this mix was mixed in a very loud font, so I don't actually have to do much about it. So my outselling, which is the output, was about I just have to like reduce a little bit first, -1.5, a little bit first before I started to touch my threshold. So you can actually touch your threshold. Let's see.
I don't feel to let you go, 'cause you go take me see.
That's not what we
I don't
want.
feel to let you go, 'cause you go take me see your mama, your papa, your sister, your brother, eh. And if I lie to you.
So I like it to be at that range, and that was all I did with my limiter. And I actually got to the level, actually get my music high, music loudness to the level of the way I wanted it to be. So that's all about my mastering process. It was some kind of music, and that's what I actually used to do. So guys, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to drop your own saying concerning this mastering process. Let's see if it works for you. Let's see if you understand whatever I am doing, and let's see if you really love my video. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and don't also forget to comment on this video, which is very important. So as you can see, one of the things I noticed about this mastering is that it becomes full to the ear, and it becomes so much calm and warm. That is what the warm mastering is all about. So thanks for watching. My name is Victor and this is my channel. For the sake of this channel, guys, please subscribe to my channel so to help me come up with a lot of things. And for those of you asking me a lot of questions concerning how you can actually level your beat and your vocals all together, how you can actually mix your beat, how you can actually do on and on, I am actually preparing a video for you guys and it will be coming soon, so stay tuned.